Hi, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Energetic Business Pulse podcast. My name is Dana Kovacic. I'm your host, and I'm here to help you build a thriving business around a life you love, not the other way around. Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you work, that you're stuck on a hamster wheel, constantly moving but never moving forward? Or perhaps like your business is draining you instead of fueling your dreams. I've been there, and let me tell you, it doesn't have to be this way. Every Tuesday, I'll bring you inspiration, insights, and actionable strategies to help you align with the pulse of your business so that you can step into your power as a leader, build bold as fuck confidence, and create a life that gets you banked and balanced. Get ready, because the podcast starts now. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Energetic Business Pulse. My name's Dana Kovacic, your host, and today we have such an incredible VIP special guest. Her name is Summer, and she is an expert feminine embodiment leader who specializes in somatics and energetics. Summer has been helping women around the globe, is it Summer? Around the globe, to help them embody more of their feminine side. And that's what we're going to dive through today of what does that mean? How can that help you as a leader? And how can that bring the pulse of your business alive? So welcome, Summer.
Thank you so much. Beautiful. I'm so honored to be here.
So good to have you here. Like, introduce yourself. I'd love to know a little bit more about you, what you're about. What does energetics and somatic mean? Share some more about you.
Yeah, baby. Thank you. So a little bit about me. My background, without going too deep into my story, have experienced a lot of trauma in my life, and that got me into really diving deep into my own personal work and that personal development, body work, mindset work, all the things. And I've come to realize and really love somatic work. So soma just purely means working with the body or therapy of the body. So doing a lot of work around that, and then that, diving into energetics really allowed me to just tap in more into that quantum field, because we're all energetic beings, we're multidimensional beings. So having both the body, the mind, and the spirit all coming together. So essentially a holistic coach. But I do more work with feminine energy, as I love my women and I love bringing women back to their truest core essence through the lens of God.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted you on the show today. Number one, you fully inspire me, and I know that you'll inspire everyone who listens. And secondly, like, you're an expert in your field when it comes to femininity and talking about God. And this is such a taboo subject. I find it taboo, and as I've told you, I have some resistance around the word God. So it's so cool to have this conversation and bring it to life of what that can mean, what it does mean for you, and what it can mean for others to bring their business pulse alive.
This is such a deep topic for me, and such an important topic, because just a bit of context. I've been in the entrepreneur space since I was 21, doing network marketing, and always had this spark in me to do things for myself. And I'm sure you can probably resonate, like that fire of just like, I need to break free from the matrix and, find freedom in all ways, right? But and it's like, yes, we have all these amazing leaders in our life, but it's like, okay, who is truly going to lead you if you're the one paving the way? Right? If you are meant, because when we think about leaders, we think that they are original. They think differently. They are the ones creating this whole new identity, a whole new way of being or living, or a new concept, or a new business. And it's like, wow, where does that come from?
Isn't that interesting? So share with us, where does it come from? Why do you believe that? Because, I'm sure a lot of people who are going to be listening can resonate with that they see other people doing things. It's like, well, why couldn't I come up with that idea? Or why isn't it coming to me? Why does it only go to specific people? So I'd love to get your insight on what your belief is around that and how we can tap into it.
Yeah. So I personally believe that we're all connected to God. And when I say God, I don't have a religious background. I used to call it the universe. So most people identify with that. If you're in the spiritual entrepreneur space, most people believe in the universe is abundant and gives us everything. And also source or the creator, which I personally prefer to say rather than the universe. So I feel like the universe is more of a tangible thing. It's like, okay, this is the space for like planets, beings, all the things, right? Whereas when you say source, God, or creator, it's like, hey, there's like more of an identity around, okay, what is that thing that has created all of this? Not that God has a full, an actual identity like a human, right? And I believe that, so God for me is just like all of consciousness that runs through us, the divine intelligence that runs through all and everything that exists, that we can perceive and what we can't. So the form and the formless. And so in that sense, we all have the God spark, right? So we all have the ability to be like God in the way that we create, the way that we lead our lives, the way that we do business. And so coming back to business, it's like, okay, if you're a true entrepreneur and you're a true leader, yes, it's helpful to have all these people that inspire you to help you grow and help you, become better and master your skills. But at the end of the day, you want to be a leader for a reason. Right? You have your own, you have your own thing that you want to create. So it's like, yes, God has given you that ability to create your own thing. And my thing that I've been working with women lately is that, okay, how are you truly going to feel fulfilled and led by God? Because or even in general, if you don't have a belief in God, like how are you going to be truly fulfilled and led to do your business long term? Because if we're here to build a business, it's not just a one and done thing, right? It's not just a quick, cash making thing.
Never a quick fix.
No. So then my thing is, okay, well, we need to, if we're going to build a legacy, like any relationship that you build, right? It's going to be long term. So if you're building a relationship long term, you want to build it for lifetimes and for the next generations, you're going to have to ground it in something that's going to outlast your physical human experience.
Beautiful.
And so, so my realization, like just rounding back, it's like, I've been in entrepreneurial space since I was 21 and failed so many times. I'm 28 now. And I'm like, why is it? Why haven't I felt like that's the one thing that I need to stick with or the one thing that I could build that would last? And through my own personal journey last year, I had to really just let go of everything that I thought I knew how to build a business and let the creator, the supreme creator, take me, show me. And when I fully surrendered to God and allowed God to build the business, because God wants you to fulfill his mission, right? To fulfill the grander mission. But if you're only creating from a place of ego standing for edging God out, if you don't have God in a business, all you have is ego.
Let's pause that for a second. That's massive. I love that. Edging God. Do you know, I'd love for you to go through that process of last year when you had this enlightening moment and for sharing with people, how do you know that you're letting God in? Like, what was the process for you and how did you come to that realization that that's what you needed?
Okay, so there's a few things. I've always felt like I was a leader. I felt like I needed to create something that's going to help humanity because that's, for the most part, most entrepreneurs or leaders, that's what they're doing. They want to create something to literally help every human being, right?
Yes.
And if you even just think about it logically, if you were to literally just do it all on your own, like as the one human being, you just literally physically can't, right? And so we're not taught that we can lean on others and we can have support, but like really deep support. And we don't, unfortunately, depending on your upbringing, you probably don't even get modeled that at all. Like, yes, we find it in the, entrepreneur space now, but we don't have that subconscious belief that someone's there to help us.
There's
And
such a
so,
big thing, right? Have you found that with the women that you work with, that it's such a big hurdle to reach out and ask for help or support because they have a belief that they should know it already?
and then we try to do it ourselves. Like if gone through your own trauma healing, childhood trauma healing, all the things, you know that you're capable of being resourceful and finding help and to heal your own inner wounds, right? But then it's like, like you realize that your business is just a direct reflection of you and your worthiness.
Yes.
And so, and this goes deeper, right? So this goes deeper into feminine energy and worthiness. And so my experience last year was like, I came to a point where I was like, I felt like I was just constantly trying to prove that I can do this myself. And I was like, there was just a moment where I can't, I am so exhausted. I cannot do this anymore. I cannot, even like being in the entrepreneur space, having leaders around me, this still feels exhausting. Why isn't this working? Right. And then I just had this moment where I had to fully just go into the void, surrender, and just let every single part of me go. And like every part of me that thought that I couldn't do this, right?
Which is tough. Talk to us about that, because that is fucking hard to have that, not only have the awareness, but do something about it. Because have you ever, had an awareness and done nothing? Like that takes a lot of work. So can you just touch on or go a little bit deeper on how did you do that?
Yeah. Okay. So the year before, I keep saying last year, but we're 2025 now, guys. So 2023. Most magical year of my life. I had so much community. I was building, I was doing women's healing circles. I was expressing more of myself. I was so connected and felt like I was moving with an alignment with the divine. And then, like I said, it just came to a point where I was just like, it still feels like I'm doing, like, why does it feel like I'm trying to like prove myself and prove that I'm worthy of doing this? And like I said, if you don't have that good role model or teachings, deep rooted teachings in God and that support, you're just going to continue doing the same thing, right? And burning out. So what happened was I essentially just had this moment where I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing and I need help. It was that moment. Like the thing is, the ego is so good. The ego wants to think that it knows. But the reality is that in our ego minds and this little human consciousness, we clearly just don't know. Like you think you know what's going on the other side of the world, but you don't. Only God, the all-seeing, the all-wise, the all-knowing, can see everything. So how could we ever think that we actually know what's going to play out, what's actually going on, right? So when I had that realization, it was literally just purely through okay, so a bit more context around this. Because I've been on the journey of like really trying to understand consciousness and God for such a long time through the spiritual community, there's this, in the New Age community, there's a lot talk of, that we are God, right? That all is God, that means we're God. But then you get into that ego trap of thinking that, thinking that you know all, you are the creator. But it's simply not true, because if you look at nature, can we as humans replicate nature? No, you cannot replicate a leaf. You cannot replicate a blade of grass. You cannot replicate an animal or even just like your blueprint, right? Your divine finger blueprint. And it's like, it's so obvious, but we're so brainwashed to think that we have the same ability. It's like, no, God's given us, yes, the ability to manifest and create and work with divine. But at the end of the day, if that truth is right in front of us, we actually have to be humble and know that we don't know. Accept that we don't know. And and this is the thing, I was in my ego the whole time. I was like, oh my God, I thought I knew, but I didn't. And I was like, you know what? This is going to be hard, really hard lesson, but I'm going to let go and say, I don't fucking know. You show me. And so I literally, so like let go of every single thing, let go, like sold all my clothes, sold my car, so like my
Wow.
where I was living, I was like, I'm gonna move, buy a one-way ticket to Bali and let go. I let go of my business, this women's circles healings I was doing. I was like, yep, let go of my side job and just show me the way. And it takes a lot. And I'm not saying that everyone needs to do that, but that is the level that I've gone to so that I could come back to the truth. I was like, because the truth is, I personally don't believe we're meant to be suffering like this to
Mm.
the depths that we are. I believe in duality. I believe that needs to be day and night, dark and light, but I don't think that we're meant to be suffering. And so I'll just end with coming back to business, is that when I finally surrendered and allowed God to show me, that's when I truly started building the real foundation for
Mm.
anything. It doesn't even have to be just business, right? It can be a relationship, it can be, your personal life. It can be, yeah. It literally, when you have God as your foundation for everything, you're set. Like you won't ever have to worry again. I'm not saying that you don't experience challenges, but that's the true way of building a legacy. Because God is going to outlast your human experience.
That is just so incredible. Thank you for sharing that. And, thank you for going deep on that because, I myself, I'm just being open to this new language and new awareness from meeting you. And yeah, I've been so resistant to it for so long. I'm like, every time I heard the word God, I'm running the other way, right? So it's so great that you're pioneering, you're leading the way, and I'm keen to know your experience about what you're doing now. Like, how are you helping women now through this journey? Because you've gone to Bali, you've literally given up nearly everything in your life, material things. You've come to the realization and surrendered. Like, how has that changed the impact you're now making in your business?
I was just sitting with this morning and always just have these beautiful reminders from God to just be. I know that sounds so simple, but how it's impacted my business is that I'm not in a rush
Mm.
because when you can just, when you have moments of being present and literally just really truly being in the experience, no matter what you're doing, hanging with friends, talking to someone, literally just sitting in nature, you don't have that need to rush, right? You don't
Mm.
have that need to want to have to finish this moment so they can go into the next thing
Yes.
and experience something better.
Mm. So presence has been a big thing.
And patience.
Mm. Because like
Mm.
you said, like we're often, quite 99% of us in a rush, where you're looking at the next thing, we're sitting next to our partner thinking about, what are we doing in business instead of taking a moment and just being, and I like to say smelling the roses, or I like to personally go sit with the weeds and the bees. That's my thing. But it's so important, and our belief on this. My belief is that we build a business around a life we love, and it's like you said, not just about our business. Our business is one thing we're doing to leave our legacy and impact in the world, and it's about how can we personally enjoy our life as the leaders of our life.
Yeah, I love that. And truly, it's like, and to me, like leading again, it's like why I call myself a feminine embodiment leader. It's like, even if I was just saying a feminine embodiment teacher, like embodiment, that is leading.
And share with us, thank you, and share with us how does that femininity link in with God? Like, where does that come in? How does that show up?
Yeah, beautiful. So, okay, we're about to go a little bit deep. And Look, my personal experience has taught me that if you didn't have a healthy masculine figure in your life, you don't know what true support and provision is.
Are you okay to go there, to go deep on this podcast?
Yeah. I feel, yeah, you're right. You're so right. I kind of keep things.
Let's, let's, let's bring it all in because I know your story and I know how impactful it is from what you've gone through. So if you're okay to share, let's go there.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So growing up, my parents are immigrant and, also refugees from the Vietnam War. They have their own trauma, all the things. Um, I didn't have a very good childhood, like a bit of emotionally abusive childhood from emotionally mature parents. And that really shut me down. And when I was 17, I basically was suicidal, depressive, couldn't finish school, but I was a very, very intelligent academic child. And like the fact that I almost failed and didn't want to be alive was like just heartbreaking to like even realize now. And so that's like the impact of not having healthy parent, like healthy upbringing, right? It doesn't matter, biological parents or not, just any sort of guardian. Um, and I think for me specifically, pertaining masculine wounds, is that my father, it's a gift I see now. However, at the time, we're going through a financial crisis and he ended up kicking me out. And that was my father abandonment wound. And then going deeper, um, so I ended up living a life where I really betrayed myself, disassociated because I ended up choosing a path that wasn't in full alignment with my being. And basically, with my parents' financial crisis, I ended up choosing to prostitute myself.
Mm.
Yeah.
Which is huge, which is huge.
Yeah. And so the depth of that, you can only imagine how much pain, disassociation, disconnection I would have experienced from my own divinity, my soul, my body, my soul, my spirit, and of course God. Just had no awareness. I was numb, walking around, like just had no idea. And like again, going through deep healing, coming back into remembrance of my holy divinity and my connection with God has just, because I've gone on that full spectrum of complete disconnection, I now know what that is like on the other side. And this is why that's coming through with my work. And so going back with the masculine wound is that you don't have to have, that deep of a traumatic experience
And that's a big
with,
T. That's a big T, right? We have little T's and big T's in life, and that's a big fucking T.
I caught in all the big T's for this lifetime.
And how incredible that you've turned that pain into now making a beautiful impact and legacy in the world.
Yeah, thank you, babe. So fast forward a little bit. Yeah, started having my awakening, gone through all the healing, and then it's something I haven't even shared with you yet, but I in the last 2 years, I had a cellular memory of being sexually abused by my father when I was a child, when I was 3 years old.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
Whoa.
yeah, yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And so yeah, that was a whole nother journey in itself of truly seeing, like having to go through the depths of pain, rage, and finding forgiveness and all of that was like truly, truly alchemizing. And the reason why I share this is because it's not necessarily about the story itself, about me being sexually abused. Yes, it is. That's one part of it. But it's about understanding yourself and allowing yourself to meet the darkest parts of yourself that you haven't allowed yourself to fully see and fully feel yet.
And that is one of the hardest journeys we have in this lifetime, isn't it? To see the darkest parts of ourselves and take action or do something about it. Because you've had a choice, right? You've had a choice you could have stayed in that life of prostituting yourself. You could have gone down the drugs route. You could be sitting in the gutter right now. And instead you have chosen to elevate yourself and learn from this and forgive so beautifully. And I'm so grateful for that, because you're here with us making such a big difference.
Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, that was really, really tough. And look, I'm not gonna lie, I'm still human. I'm still at a certain stage of my evolution. I'm not saying I know it all and I'm perfect, because that's just not the truth. That's not the reality. However, I have done the work and I am where I'm at, and I'm here to share that wisdom and help guide others back into remembrance of who they truly are, so that they can lead a life of authenticity. Because what we truly want to do in your personal life and business is you want to have your true soul shining through with everything that you do. So it's not about, yes, like all the stuff that you desire and want to create, that's amazing, but it's actually you just want to show up as the true you.
And that's the journey, isn't it? Because I don't know if you found this, that each and every one of us that show up at the time, we think that's ourselves. Where it's, when you look back and do the work, it's like, hang on a second, who was that?
Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah. And you know what? I actually just came across a quote before when I was on my phone, that, I really get, so in my work, I do a lot of work with elements like fire, air, earth, water. And the air quote was talking about like the wind reminds us that change is constant. And so if you look at that if we are direct reflection of nature, we're constantly changing, constantly, like every second, every minute. Like you are not the same person you were 3 seconds ago. So, it's just like, how can we embrace more of that natural essence that we are, right? And allow that truth to really come through in everything that you do, the way that you show up in your life and your business.
That is just so beautiful. So thank you so much for your time today on the podcast. You have certainly inspired me, and I know you'll inspire each and every person listening. I would love to know, is there any last words of wisdom that you would love to give to our beautiful listeners?
If there is any goal that you should aspire to have for your life or business, is build your relationship with God, your own personal relationship with God. And I assure you, you will feel way more fulfilled than anything that you achieve in this lifetime.
Oh, thank you so much. And for those of you who are wanting to embrace this journey and lean more into their journey with their femininity and God, I'll have Summer's details in the podcast so you can connect with her. She runs amazing retreats and currently has a 4-week program to help elevate our understanding with God and how that can help us in our life and our business. So, Summer, thank you so much once again. You are just so inspirational and look forward to connecting soon.
Thank you, my love.